today's video, we're going to be looking at strategies for the game Valorant. Valorant is a popular game that came out early June 2020. Valorant is one of the most popular FPS games out there. The game consists of a 5v5 on loads of different maps. We're going to be going through 5 different strategies you and your team can use in the game to get the highest rank possible you can. How am I going to do this? I'm going to be showing a few strategies on different PowerPoint slides. I'm going to be explaining what it is and the benefits of the strategies. I'll also be showing some of my very own personal gameplay of the type of strategy. I'll be doing this for all 5 strategies. All these strategies will be shown by my own gameplay. So enough talking now, and let's get straight into it. Our first strategy is a default. What is a default, you may be asking? Well, a default is when you and your team decide to do a full map split. So for example, 2 go A, 1 go mid, and the other 2 go B. This strategy's aim is to put the enemies off guard. By having your whole team on different parts of the map, they would be lost of where you and your team actually have decided to go. So say for example, your team decides to go B with a default, the 2 people on A and the person from mid would rotate over to B in different ways, trying to catch one of the enemies off guard and get a kill to make it 5v4. Giving your team the man advantage and map control is one of the most important things you could do, and gives your team a significant chance of winning the round. If this strategy is done properly, the strategy makes the enemies think more than what they would be thinking. By one of them spotting one of your team members from A and on B, makes them think where you're actually going. So they won't rotate, because if they've seen someone from your team on 2 different sides, they would sit there and talk with the team and try and get an idea where your team is actually going. Some teams will instantly rotate and giving your team a free site and a free plant for the bomb. This is a benefit for you and your team because it gives less time for them to rotate, clear sight and defusing. It should be an easy first round if your team is able to pull this off properly. From this video of me playing, you can actually see there's 2A, 1 mid and 2B. This is what default actually looks like, and this is one of the most used strategies in Valorant. Most pros use these strategies in their competitive matches and in their professional play. It's most used because of how simple it is, but how complex it is for the enemies to understand your plan. Second strategy, we are going to be learning what a fake is. A fake is a strategy mostly used to trick the enemies into thinking where you're going. For example, 3 out of the 4 players on your team will go to one side without the spike, and the other 1 to 2 players will go to the other side very slowly. This trick is used to give your team the full site and give them space to take control of. For example, giving your team enough room to take the whole of back site or CT. When this strategy is played well, it gives a huge advantage to your team by giving them a free site. This is a fake. From my own gameplay, as we can see, there's 3 on the other side, 2 on the other with spike. As we can see, the 2 people are walking up slowly whilst the other 3 are spamming utility and running it down into sight. As the other 2 are on a really good advantage right now due to them actually having lots of space on site, which ends up giving them the round. We're going to be talking what a rush is. A rush is simple to understand and master. You and your team, as soon as the barriers go down in game, run onto site, throwing utility, taking space and clearing corners, trying to get a kill or 2, giving you the advantage that round. A rush is simple and has always been known for being more simple than most strategies. Seeing what you do is literally in the name rush. For this to be success, you and your team must know how to take space and clear the site. See from this gameplay, the barrier is literally just dropped. And if at 10 seconds into the round, the team is already onto site and taking half of the space. We can see that the team that they knew how to play it out and what they were doing, they know how to play it properly, which is giving them the round advantage because they knew what they were doing what they were doing and decided to do it faster than what most teams normally do. So for our next strategy, we'll be going over controlling. You may be thinking it literally says it in the name, but when you think about it and go deeper into it, it has more meaning than a lot of people think. Most people think it's just taking space and moving into sight, but in reality there's a lot more behind it. For example, how much time it takes for you and your team to actually take the space. You literally can't take the space instantly unless your team is like full aggressive and know what they're doing properly. Meaning you'd have to adapt your team's playstyle to slowly take space. If your team's more aggressive, it will be a lot easier to push up and get space on like taking it slowly and giving the enemies a chance to get to the space before your team can. The difference between what taking space slow and fast looks like. Decided to literally rush onto the site, take all the space they can, so CT, backside, and maybe even any corners. They've taken all that space and planted the bomb. For our last strategy we're going to over in this video, as I've mentioned a few times about the other strategies used to make some of the other strategies possible, it's none other than slow. Even though slow is in the name on how to do it, there's a lot behind it. For example, timing. Timing is one of the most important things for even one step to work in the strategy. If your team doesn't understand how timing works, then it won't work at all, because if your team has really good timing, then it's higher chances that you'll be able to pull it off successfully. And if your team doesn't understand how to do it properly, then there's just no hope in it working, seeming. They'd have to understand how to properly go shift and understand what times they should rush onto site and start planting. From what we're seeing right now, we can see how it's done properly. With a good team and a team that's willing to take a big risk for a big reward, we can see the game is in their advantage. This makes the enemies think they have control over the whole site, so they decide to rotate, just to realise they've been played. Making this strategy helpful in multiple ways, especially when you need a round or two to come back, or gain an advantage. So, that wraps it up for this video on these 5 strategies. I hope this video was helpful, and I wish you the best in your ranked games. Thank you for watching.